Alright, so I guess I gotta compare, as you saw in the title and the thumbnail, whatever. I'm gonna compare these two cars, the Corvette Z06 2013, and I'm also gonna be comparing the, where the fuck is this car? Okay. The Mustang GT. Fun fact, these two cars are very affordable and no one ever talks about them. That's why I feel like it's really important that I have to talk about these two cars. And the reason why is because since these cars no one really uses and no one talks about, I thought someone had to talk about them and just compare them, because I know people talk about the Z06, but no one ever talks about the Mustang, which honestly is kind of sad because I'm just gonna spoil a little bit. This is a really good car. I mean, I'm not gonna say if it's better than the Mustang because you'll have to find out, but it is. If it's better than the Mustang, I mean, if it's better than the Corvette. But just a side note, it's really overpowered. The specs on this car, with its numbers, not the actual precise specs on it, is power is 9.6, high speed is 10.0. Acceleration is 8.6, nitrous is 10.0. For the Corvette Z06, it's a little bit of a different story. You have 9.9 power, 10.0 high speed, 10.0 acceleration, 10.0 nitrous. Keep in mind that these cars do not have engine swaps. It's the complete stock engine. And fun thing is, only the two engines that actually make a difference in anything, the only difference it makes is the potential horsepower is literally exactly 1. So you're paying like a shit ton of money for that as well. So yeah, complete utter scam. Now, what I'm going to be talking about though is enough blabbering. Might as well just compare these two cars. Now, I am going to be a little bit quiet for the majority of the part because it's going to be side-by-side comparisons of the two. But yeah, I'll do some races with it. They're not going to be 100% precise because nothing is 100% precise. But I'll just be comparing the two, and you can kind of get a base of which one's better. I will show the races at the resort circuit. I'll do Tornado. That one will be interesting. I'll do a time trial. I kind of want to do Trail Rail. And then I'll do a drift event with both of these cars. I will do not Sandstorm on the beach. It's like at the complete other side of the map. I'll do this one right here. Into the Turns. So yeah, that's essentially what I'm going to be comparing. Now, let's just get into the actual video itself. So yeah, in theory, when it comes to these two cars, with that short comparison, I do feel like this car, the Mustang GT, is better at the circuit than the Corvette. In my opinion, it is a lot better at traction control. Right when I fucking said that, whatever. Point is, better traction control. I mean, it's probably because the Corvette's more of a drift car, but it still is very good. And honestly, I think the Mustang is cheaper than the Corvette. I don't know though. But yeah, the pros to both of these cars is both of them do not need engine swaps. In fact, it is absolutely pointless and a waste of money to do it because it literally makes no difference in the car at all. And you just drop like fucking 500k on something that is going to give you literally no difference. So yeah, I do feel like you would be better off with, if you like the comfortableness of having an insanely good drift car, which by the way, the test I showed, I forgot to add the drift shit to it, both of them cars, so it's kind of an unfair comparison, I guess you could say. But it still is kind of a good reference, it's a good standpoint. I think the Corvette or Mustang, one of those, has Showcase, which are drift tires. I've had better runs than the one I showed you, but that's about average. So if you want a car that can drift good, has really, and is better at very twisty tracks and stuff like that, you'd be better off with the Corvette. If you want something that's just faster in the resort circuit, you want something that's just really fast acceleration, pretty much the same top speed, same handling, and basically the same amount of control, then I would go for the Mustang first. Because the Mustang is significantly better than the Corvette. In most cases, you'll be better off with the... Why do I keep crashing and shit? You'll be better off with the Mustang in most cases. But I have found that in the more twisty tracks, I see that the Corvette does start to catch up a little bit. I'll make a comparison of the two in the very twisty tracks, but I just wanted to make a somewhat short form video talking about these two cars, because I mean there isn't too much information to compare these two cars. I personally feel like that I like the Corvette better in my opinion, just because it has more uses, but as you saw in the run, the Mustang did so much better than the Corvette. I saved like 5 or 6 seconds, and it wasn't a bad run either, because I didn't crash the Mustang or the Corvette. And I'm not giving any advantages to these cars because none of them have engine swaps, and they both use Ultimate Plus parts. I have the Ultimate Plus crankshaft, and yeah, I don't need to explain it. You can see on the screen, but yeah. So yeah, I'd say you'll be better off with this car. If you like if you like a car that's really good at drag, but lacks in the more non-twisty-ish, very little turning tracks, then I think you'd be better off with the Mustang. But if you want a car that's almost as good as the Mustang for the things that the Mustang is good at, but you also want a good drag car and a good car for drifting, then you'll like the Corvette more. I think they both have 6 out of 10 customization rating, if I'm not mistaken, so that's also, there's no advantage to them. And I'd say the only thing I could say about the Corvette that I don't like about it is the fact that it really lacks in like circuits that don't have many turns, like the resort circuit. The resort circuit's like a very vanilla type track. It's very simple, easy to do, but the Corvette just really seems to not do good. And you can tell because the Mustang got first pretty much almost instantly, got in the first place area, but the Corvette took like almost half of the took like a solid 15-20 seconds to just get into first place. It doesn't have a great launch. The Mustang gets off the track faster, but the Corvette does start to catch up when there's a lot of turns though. I think that's when you really start to see problems with this Mustang is in the very crazy turns. It still does good, but just I think the Corvette does a little bit better. So in summary, I'd recommend you to get the Corvette unless you don't like drift events. If you don't like drift events and don't do too many of them, and you prioritize racing and cop chases, I would just go for the Mustang, since it is so much better at most things compared to the Corvette. At the time of recording this exact part of the video that you're watching right now, I don't know how the times did. I don't know which car was faster in the acceleration test. I'll need to look at the video when I edit it. But I guess what I'm trying to say here is I feel like that the Mustang is just so much better if you're not a big fan of drifting. In my opinion, I love the Corvette, and I did use it a lot. Last night I was using it a lot, but I'm just not a big fan of the Corvette. I don't know. It could be I'm better at driving with this car, but you can tell the acceleration test, literally acceleration tests, aka drag races, take literally no skill at all. Like literally take no skill. So there's no skill issue to that or whatever. But I guess what I'm trying to say here is I like the Mustang better, unless there's a drift event. If there's a drift event, go with the Corvette. Obviously, since the Corvette is one of the best drift cars in this entire game, it's without a doubt that the Corvette would be so much better if you also like drifting. But if you just really don't care about drifting in this game and all you care about just race performance and acceleration and escaping cops and basically anything other than drifting and just playing with a multiplayer, you'll have a lot more fun with the Mustang. But these two are both amazing cars, and the Corvette is a lot better at drifting and is so much better at just pure turning performance, I'd say. The Mustang does about as good as the Corvette in that aspect though. But yeah, that's about all I have to say. I like the Mustang a little bit more than the Corvette, but if I could have one of the two cars, I'd choose the Mustang. But if you like drift events, go with the Corvette. If you don't care about drift events, go with the Mustang. Yeah, I'll see you on the next video. Peace.